What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Jake here, Nerd Level Rising, and today I am doing a bookshelf tour. I have been asked to do this a handful of times, and it's time. It's time to do it. So I think what I'm going to do, I've tried to come up with a bunch of ideas of how to do this and make it sort of engaging, and I think ultimately I just want to do it kind of in a straightforward way, I guess. I'm going to like overlay pictures and just sort of talk. You'll have like a voiceover talking about what it is and all that kind of stuff. I've tried to do this like holding my camera and like talking in real time and moving around, and it's just shaky and annoying. It just doesn't look good. So this is what we're going to do. At least this way it looks reasonable, and I can talk without having to worry about trying to stay stable the whole time and all this kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoy this, and yeah, let's get to it. All right, so starting here with my manga. I don't have a ton of manga, but I have a little bit. I actually started collecting these years and years and years and years and years ago, many moons ago, and quickly found out how expensive it is to collect physical manga and switched to doing digital. But you know, there's certainly still some series that I'd like to have physically. I'd love to get Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd love to get the rest of Naruto. You know, I had started doing Tokyo Ghoul and Blue Exorcist at the time because that was when I first seen the anime, like the first seasons of those, and I was super into it at the time. Now I'm not sure if I'd spend the money on the physical editions, probably not. But the One Piece, I'd love to get physical. There's a bunch of them. So yeah, this is some of my little partial series. This is the big one though, right? Having all of Berserk. I have everything that has been published physically in these individual volumes. I would love to get those big, beautiful leather-bound editions. It's just a matter of money at this point, but they will happen at some point. They're just too beautiful. You know what I mean? We gotta have it. Berserk means the world to me. I have a Berserk tattoo. Like it means the world to me. So I'll need to get those at some point. Now, these next few are going to be my physical TBR shelf, meaning physical books that I own that I have not yet read. And I try to keep those separate because this teaches me a lesson to not just endlessly buy books. I only have so much space that I let myself use for books I haven't read yet. So this is what we got. Starting at the top here, The Tainted Cup and A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. Drop of Corruption came out in April, and I was trying to be ready to read that on release day, and I just never got to The Tainted Cup. I just kept pushing it down the road on accident. So would love to get those at some point. Those are just naked hardcovers, and the artwork on there is just is beautiful. I really, really like it. So excited to read those. And then I have a bunch of Malazan stuff. I have the prequel series, The Paths to Ascendancy. The first 4 books here. It's still ongoing as of right now. So we have Dancer's Lament, Deadhouse Landing, Kellanved's Reach, and Forge of the High Mage. Those are all by Ian C. Esselmont, and I've heard great things about those. They're shorter prequel stories. Like I'm really excited to get into those. I need to get to those sooner rather than later. Then we have the Carcanus books, Forge of Darkness and Fall of Light, and I'm so excited to read these. Something tells me these might be some of, if not my favorite stuff in the Malazan universe, but we shall see, of course. And I know Steven Erikson is currently hard at work on book 3, which will be called Walk in Shadow, that I cannot be more excited for, and it's just, I'll need to be ready to read that on release day, for sure. I'm excited to be part of that conversation. And then I have part 2, the second collection of the Baukelin and Corbel Broach novella collections. This is, I believe, 3 novellas. I can't remember the titles of all of them, right? It's Crackpot Trail, Fiends of Nightmaria, and I can't remember the other one. Anyway, but very excited to read those. I love the first collection, so I'm stoked to get into those. And so once I read those 7 books, I will be fully current on Malazan at that point. Then we have the first book in the Rift War saga from the Broken Binding. This is Magician. It's kind of hard to see the title there with the way that the lighting was, but the artwork on that is gorgeous. This photo is not doing it justice. I will have a video at some point in the future showing off all my special editions where I'll make it look a little bit better. But can't wait to read that. I have felt a draw for some time to go back and read a bunch of these older foundational series, and Rift War is certainly one of those that is high on the list for that. Then we have some more Broken Binding editions. I love the Broken Binding, as so many people do. We have the whole set of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn with the Dragonbone Chair, Stone of Farewell, and of course the 2 parts of To Green Angel Tower, which they've subtitled Siege and Storm. I can't wait for those. I really wanted to read those here in 2025. Now I'm not so sure I'm going to have enough time, but I'm so excited to read those. I have A Time of Dragons, book 1, which was called Once There Were Heroes, and I always get mixed up which is the book title and which is the series title, but this is from Philip C. Quaintrell, who's written an absolute ton of books, and I am really excited to get to them. I have all of them digitally on my Kindle, and I don't know when I'll get to them, but I'm really excited to do so. And I had to get the special edition. I actually won a giveaway for this, and I got to pick any edition off of the Dragon's Hoard on the Broken Binding, whatever they had in stock. And this was one, and I just had to get it because it's all purple, and like I love purple so much on books. So we got that. We have the Gunmetal God special edition from Zamil Akhtar, and this is his that he did through crowdfunding, and I'll have book 2 on the way whenever that is complete and ready to ship out as well. This is one that, like, the value on this special edition is unbelievable, guys. Like, the amount of artwork that's packed in here and the quality of it and just the quality of the book in general, physically speaking, is incredible. I think I've said incredible like 16 times there. It's just the value for the price is like unparalleled probably with all the special editions that I have, and I have quite a few of them these days, so very excited to read that. I think I'm going to really like that series. I then have both parts of the Book of Astea by Zamar Amr, who is a booktuber and super nice guy. I've gotten to talk to him a handful of times, and he's just the man and was very nice and sent me these books, so I'm really excited to get to those. I got to squeeze them in here, and they're not super long, which is helpful for me to be able to get in and make time for one between some of these buddy reads I got going on. And then also from the author, very nice of Andy Peliquin to send me the first book in his Darkblade series, which is called Assassin. And I believe he just published book 9 or book 10 or something like that. So this dude writes faster than anybody I have ever seen. It blows my mind. But I'm very excited to get to that. It looks like it's got some like Assassin's Creed in a fantasy world vibe. So that sounds fun. Continuing on, I have the first couple books in the Library Trilogy by Mark Lawrence. I was really excited. This is another one. I really wanted to get to these on release day for book 3 when it came out in April, and I just didn't. I just ran out of time, and it bums me out. But they are on my shelf, and I will get to them at some point. I'm looking forward to starting my Mark Lawrence journey. I then have the entire series of the Song of the Shattered Sands. I blanked on the name for a second there, as well as the prequel novella. So that's Of Sand and Malice Made. It's the prequel novella. And then we have 12 Kings in Sherikai, With Blood Upon the Sand, A Veil of Spears, Beneath the Twisted Trees, When Jackals Storm the Walls, and A Desert Torn Asunder. These are by Bradley P. Beaulieu, I believe is how you say his name. And I've heard great things about this, sort of a desert-themed fantasy world, a lot of maybe Middle Eastern stuff that's mixed in here, and it just sounds really interesting, and I haven't read anything like that, so I'm excited to get to that at some point. I found this entire hardcover set for a steal online. I think I got the whole set for like $40 or something, and I've been looking forward to getting to them, but we gotta make that time. It's a long series, so it's tough to fit in there. And then another one from the author, self-published. This is from E.M. Peck. He sent me his first book called Scion, that I'm really excited to get to. It looks like a really cool sci-fi with some really dark kind of horror-y stuff mixed in there as well. So we got to get to that one at some point as well. I'm so thankful to authors who send me physical editions of their books. It's amazing. But I will say I'm really having a hard time. I've gotten so deep into these buddy reads, it's hard for me to make time for them. But I really want to try to get these in there, and Then we have Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buehlman. This is actually signed by him. I saw him performing at a Ren fair, and he was selling this in person. So I bought it right there in cash and asked him to sign it, and he's a super nice guy. It was awesome. So and super funny. So I'm looking forward to get to that. I know that was big on BookTube here a couple of years ago now. First couple of books from Vaughn Roycroft in, why am I blanking on the name of the series, Sundered Nation Trilogy. Book 3 recently came out, and I've heard amazing things. I know Shay and David from Four Corners of the Page have had very good things to say about this series, and I'm really excited to get in. Philip Chase as well. Really excited to see what's up with this and get to these. And Vaughn was so nice to send me these as well, and it's just amazing. I love the cover art on those two. They're just they're so nice. We have Until the last book in the Last War trilogy, and depending on when this video gets posted, as I'm recording it ahead of time, it's going to go up while I'm on the road for some travel here, and I may or may not already be into this one. I'm not sure, but I'm excited to get to this, the last book in the trilogy, and I've heard that it is generally works better for people, where book 2 for me wasn't amazing. So looking forward to that, and hopefully it comes back to form, because I really like book 1. We have some more Gene Wolfe. This is the rest of the Book of the New Sun, with part 2 there, Sword and Citadel on the top, and then The Earth of the New Sun, down there at the bottom. So I'm loving that buddy read that we got going on this year for that series. It's just one of my new favorite things, and I can't wait to continue and get into those. I then have some special edition here for the Elric books by Michael Moorcock. And they took all the Elric stories that are really short and put them into these illustrated hardcover editions. I shouldn't say illustrated. They commissioned a bunch of artwork for these hardcover, like omnibus editions here. So they have the first one, which is just called Elric of Melniboné, I believe is how you say that. Someone please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Then we have Stormbringers Volume 2, and then The White Wolf for Volume 3. And I'd love to show off the artwork in those because they're just beautiful, right? Again, keep an eye out for that special edition video. Please bug me in the comments to make that because it seems like a lot of work to make it, but I think it'd be a really cool video. We then have a collection of some of these little mass market paperbacks. So I have American Gods, which I bought way back before we learned anything about what came out on the internet. So not sure what's up with that, but it's still on my shelf. I bought it a long time ago, I promise. Fire and Blood by George Martin. I would love more Song of Ice and Fire, but Silmarillion really scared me. And people tell me that this isn't, too much like the Silmarillion, but I'm still a little scared that it's going to feel like, just trudging through mud like that one kind of did for me. Sorry, Tolkien fans. But yeah, I'm excited for more of that content, of that world of Westeros. It's just amazing, right? We have the rest of the Thomas Covenant books, at least the first two trilogies. So I'm currently reading Lord Valsbane as I'm recording this. When you're watching this, I will have long since finished it. But we have Book 2, The Ill-Earth War, and Book 3, The Power That Preserves. Then we get into the second trilogy, which is The Wounded Land, then The One Tree, and then White Gold Wielder. And I am loving Book 1, so I'm really excited to continue down that path. We got that nice buddy read for that as well. I then have the other Janny Wurts books, right, that I have not yet read. And that is her short story collection, That Way Lies Camelot. We have some standalones, being Sorcerer's Legacy and The Master of Whitestorm. These are kind of beat up copies, but that's okay. They were cheap. And then we also have her Cycle of Fire trilogy, which is Storm Warden, then Keeper of the Keys, and then Shadowfane. Really excited to get to that. It's no secret how much I love Janny Wurts and her work, right? So really excited to read those. We then have some other books, a lot from authors on this shelf as well. You can tell why I've kind of slowed down on accepting physical copies from authors, because I just feel bad that I'm having such a hard time getting them in here. And so, I don't want authors to spend all the money to send me physical editions if they're just going to sit on my shelf, So, but we have these here. We have The Forsaken Planet that by Brian Wilson. He recently had the third book in his trilogy here come out that is getting some good reception. So that's pretty cool. And then we have 11th Cycle by Kian Ardalan. This is one has been on my list for a while because of the Berserk comparisons, and it keeps getting kicked down the road. I don't know why, but I'm excited to get to it when I get to it. Anne McCaffrey's The Dragon Riders of Pern. That's a little bit blurry on the picture. I'm not sure why that is, but this is the collection. It's the first 3 books in the Pern series. So I'd really like to read those at some point and just get a good feel for old school storytelling around dragons. And people say it's a sci-fi series, which blows my mind. I don't know how that works with dragons, so that'll be cool. We have Ed McDonald's Daughter of Redwinter and then Traitor of Redwinter. These caught my eye, and I just thought it seemed really, really cool. And I was getting ready to read these and be ready for the drop of Book 3, which I believe was the end of 2024, Witch Queen of Redwinter. And it was another one that just got kicked down the road. I ran out of time. So I still would like to come back to that and read these. I got these hardcovers for an amazing price. So I'd like to do that. We have the Heaven Tree trilogy here by Edith Pargeter, I believe is how you say that name. This is an older, very underappreciated series. This is recommended to me by Janny Wurts for being very focused on the artist as they are creating a cathedral. And it's supposed to be sort of similar to Pillars of the Earth that a lot of people are liking, but just much more focused on the artist themselves rather than some of the other surrounding things. So sounds really cool. We actually have a buddy read. Myself, Nikhil from Shelf Esteem, and Janny herself are all going to read this together and discuss it. So that'll be really fun. We then have a couple of the Gadina books by Stepan I'm so sorry, Stepan. Veresevec Kobets. I'll just say Stepan Kobets, who is a booktuber as well. I got some book reviews up there. I think Broken English book reviews, I believe. A super, super nice guy. Was so nice to send me these, and I really am excited to get to these. I think these are the furthest back These have been sitting on my shelf the longest out of anything that authors have sent me. So these are the first ones up. I'm trying to go through them in order of when they've been sent to me, and it's just taken me forever. I'm so sorry, but I'm excited to get into these and check these out. It should be like really good, high action-packed sci-fi kind of stuff. So that sounds fun. Godinez book 1, and then Kier's Fury book 2. And then T.C. Roberts Finn sent me his book called Witch Hazel that is seems like kind of sort of a spooky, Halloween-y kind of book, which is really cool. So I'm excited to get to that one as well. That will be fun. And I believe, no, it's not. It's not the end of my not yet read shelf. We have the first 2 books in the Drowned Kingdom, The Drowned Kingdom, and then The Last of the Atalanteans by P.L. Stewart. Read along scheduled for later this year for that, so stay tuned for more on that. But I'm so excited to read P.L.'s books. He is the nicest person I've ever seen online, and I've heard great things about his story, so I'm excited to jump in there. We have A Song for Arbonne, my first Guy Gavriel Kay book that I own. This was sent to me by my good friend Joanna from the channel Joanna Reads, who is just one of my favorite people on the entire internet, and she was so nice to send me this, and I'm really, really excited to start my GGK journey with that, and I need to make some time to get that into the plans. That'll be so fun. We have some more Wars of Light and Shadow, right? So the rest of the series, I own the whole series, so it's just as we keep going through our big, massive buddy read, we'll keep picking one of these up. We have Fugitive Prince, Grand Conspiracy, Peril's Gate, then Traitor's Knot, Initiate's Trial, Storm Fortress up top, and then as we go to the next picture, we see Destiny's Conflict, and then the finale, Song of the Mysteries. This is, by the time I finish Song of the Mysteries, I will not be shocked if this becomes my favorite series of all time. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right now, it's hard to say it's not top 3 already. So we'll see how it goes. And then I have the Dandelion Dynasty, these beautiful midnight editions, these purple. I'm a sucker for purple. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little scared of these books now because I've now heard Philip and Joanna both be pretty mixed to like not super stoked about them. And so I don't know, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I really hope I like them because I paid enough money to get these nice editions. I'll tell you that. So anyway, okay. I believe now that's the end of my not yet read books. So let's get into the stuff that I have read. Here's some stuff from my childhood that we'll start with. So I have the Inheritance books, Aragon. This is the copy that my mom bought me back when I was in 5th grade, and I was just trying to keep renting it out from the school library, and she was like, bro, you can't just keep, we're gonna have our own copy if you're gonna be doing this. So we got that, and it's really beat up because it spent a lot of time in my backpack. Same with Eldest. Brisinger is in better shape because I was a little bit older by the time that came out, and then Inheritance, of course, is in the best shape because I don't think I've even read that copy. I read the hardcover right when it came out when I rented it from the library, and then I since bought a paperback copy here to sit on my shelf. But those will soon be replaced by the Broken Binding editions that have recently come in, and I didn't take a picture of for this because I haven't put them in like my book mail update on a weekly update yet, but they will be on there. Those are on my shelf now, I guess. Then we have Jonathan Stroud's The Bartimaeus trilogy, which I love these books growing up. I remember reading these in grade school, and I just loved it. Bartimaeus, the main character, he's like a djinn who is just super sassy and dark humor, and I loved it. So we have The Amulet of Samarkand, The Golem's Eye, and then Ptolemy's Gate. And this series is so fun. I really actually want to reread this. I think it'd be awesome. And it has the only time I've ever seen footnotes in a book that sort of add more world building. I just think it's awesome. So I would like to reread this at some point here as an adult. Then we have Artemis Fowl, another one I wouldn't be mad to reread. Honestly, everything in this picture I want to reread. But Artemis Fowl was so fun. I loved reading these as a kid. It was sort of my introduction to sci-fi, I guess. And we have the the same title, I guess, Artemis Fowl, the book. Then we have the Arctic Incident, the Eternity Code, and then as we shift over here, the Opal Deception. That's actually the last one that I own, and I want to go back and get the rest of the series and reread this. I think it'd be so fun. I only read up to that point, and I loved these books as a kid. So I think that'd be really fun to go back and do that. I have the sort of companion book here, the Artemis Fowl Files, as well. That was a cool little thing to get as a kid. Then we have the series of Unfortunate Events. This was one of the earliest things I remember my dad reading to me as a little kid, and I just loved it. I actually really loved the Netflix live action series as well with Neil Patrick Harris. I just think it's fantastic. And so yeah, these were super fun. I have great memories of these books. This is just a handful of bookmarks that are sitting on top. But yeah, there you go. So there's some stuff from the childhood. Then we have the God Eater trilogy, the book ones by Rob J. Hayes. We have Archive of the God Eater, Annals of the God Eater, and then Age of the God Eater. So the sort of 3 separate timelines here. where the archive is called Demon, Annals is called Deathless, and then this Age of the God Eater book 1 is called Herald. And I cannot wait for phase 2 of this. He's doing trilogies. It's 3 book 1s, and then he's going to publish the 3 book 2s, and then he's going to publish the 3 book 3s. It's just such an interesting, unique structure, and I loved this. The twist at the end just really got me hook, line, and sinker, so I can't wait to get more God Eater in my life. First Law trilogy, I desperately need to read more Joe Abercrombie. I loved this trilogy. Wasn't super hot on the Devils, but I loved the First Law, and I really need to do some more of that. Tolkien, of course. We got The Hobbit. We got The Silmarillion that I struggled through, but that's okay. And then Lord of the Rings, this nice all-in-one edition there with some illustrations and stuff. I really like that edition, and I got it for an amazing price. So you got a bargain shop for some of these, you guys, right? Then we have Eleuthean that Sam Middleton, the author, sent to me. We read that for the Red Company back the beginning of this year, I believe. So that was fun. That was a good one. We have another self-published book here, Discovery by J.J. Minton. I love this book. It's awesome. Really opened my eyes to how much cosmic horror can do, and it really makes me want more cosmic horror. So that's awesome. I love that. We have Falling into Oblivion by Aaron M. Payne, or Bibliotheory, you may know him as. So that was a really fun, it's actually my first cyberpunk book that I've ever read. So I want to read more cyberpunk now. That opened my eyes as well. We have An Inheritance of Magic and An Instruction in Shadow. These are the first 2 books in the new urban fantasy series by Benedict Jacka, and I'm really, really loving that. I think it's super underrated. Of course, The Song of Ice and Fire. Love these. This is the first series I got as an adult and really got into as an adult fantasy reader. And The World of Ice and Fire, just a sort of world-building book. Amazing artwork in there. It's crazy. And then Chance's book, Mercy, Tears of the Fallen. Love having this on my shelf. Super, super cool. I love everything about how all this. I just like how this fits on the on the shelf, and it just all looks great. But it's amazing to have a friend's book on my shelf. That's so cool. We have some John Gwynne here, right? We got Faithful and the Fallen, still one of my favorite series of all time. We got the sequel trilogy here, the A Blood and Bone trilogy, The Time of Dread, Time of Blood, Time of Courage. And I just love John Gwynne's stuff. He's so good. I've read all of his books, and I just really, really like all of them. And then The Will of the Many up here, very, very good book. The ending was crazy, blew my mind. Can't wait for the sequel later this year. And then we had the Bloodsworn trilogy down here, right? Shadow of the Gods, Hunger of the Gods, Fury of the Gods. Great stuff. Again, this is this more Norse-inspired trilogy here that, wow, crazy. And the covers on these are just unreal. I then have all my Drizzt books. So I have these really nice 25th anniversary editions where they collected the whole trilogy into one volume. And I was really hoping they'd do that through the whole series, but they do not. They stopped after the 4th collection. So I found that out a little too late, but what are you going to do? So I have the first, which is the Dark Elf trilogy, second collection, which is the Icewind Dale trilogy, the third collection, which is the Legacy of the Drow, and then the 4th collection here you can see is the Paths of Darkness. So really enjoying my time in Drizzt so far. Not every book has been a 10 out of 10 for me by any means, but really having a good time. And then more childhood reading here, the Pendragon series that I absolutely love. This is another one I'd love to reread at some point. It's a 10-book series, super epic. It's, sort of portal fantasy sci-fi blend. It's awesome, dude. It's really, really awesome. And I don't see it getting nearly enough love that it deserves. We have the other Last War books, right? I mentioned I really liked book 1. Book 2 was really mixed for me. I liked some stuff and really didn't like some other stuff, but that's okay. Looking forward to book 3. I got a nice special edition of Dune there. I just love the artwork on that one. And then, of course, all 6 of Herbert's Dune books that I really, really, really like, particularly the first 4. Although I like books 5 and 6, it sounds like more than most people, is what I hear. And then I think this might be a hot take, but I think Messiah is actually my favorite Dune book. And then I have the His Dark Materials trilogy there by Philip Pullman, the Golden Compass, the Subtle Knife, and the Amber Spyglass. Another one that I read back in like 5th grade or something and loved it, and then read it again in my 20s and liked it even more. So that's one that I think I'll reread again at some point and see what other layers there are to uncover in that trilogy. I need to do the Dust trilogy as well. I think I've heard good things about those, and I'd like to get back to more Philip Pullman in that world. We have all of our Cosmere stuff. Of course, the Secret Projects, Tress, the Emerald Sea, the Sunlit Man. I got the nice special edition of Yumi the Nightmare Painter just because that's my favorite one. That I really loved that story, and I just had to get it. What can I say? And then we have, and by the way, Isles of the Emberdark should be on its way before too long, so that can join this on the shelf. I have standalones, Elantris and Warbreaker. We got the Mistborn books. We have, of course, Era 1 and Era 2. Then we have the leather bounds of Stormlight, Book 1, Way of Kings, and Book 2, Words of Radiance. These are the most expensive books that I own by a very long shot, but what can I say? I had to get it, right? I love these books to death, and I just couldn't help myself. I had to do it. So I've committed. These will be the only Dragonsteel leather bounds that I get, because I just can't afford to have all of them, and myself being a completionist, I need to have a full set of something if I get it. And so I committed to only doing the Stormlight books in leather bounds and not all the other ones. We have, of course, the standard hardcovers. I just love how these look on the shelf. They're just amazing. It's crazy how big these books are too. We thought Way of Kings was big, and then look at it compared to Wind and Truth. And then I love these mini hardbacks of the novellas. We have Dawnshard, and then in the next picture here we have Edgedancer. Those are so fun. We have the collection, Arcanum Unbounded, and I like that a lot. Actually, as I'm thinking about this, Edgedancer should be here, and Dawnshard. Edgedancer should be on the earlier picture, and then Dawnshard should come after that, because that's how it works chronologically. Anyway, we have Harry Potter. Love Harry Potter to death. One of my favorite things of all time. And I've read these copies, that first copy, a million times. It's still my original copy. I've since replaced all the other ones. But I kept that first one of Sorcerer and Stone, because that's just very nostalgic and very meaningful and special to me. And then the Skyward series by Sanderson. This has been really hit and miss for me. Overall, having a generally good time with it, but this is one that I could see myself unhauling at some point. It's just, it is what it is. More Harry Potter. I got the illustrated editions. This was a Christmas gift from my lovely girlfriend, who got me the illustrated books 1, 2, and 3. I love these. They're so cool. When I do a reread next time, it will be from those for sure. And then this box set of them with the variant artwork, that I like these quite a bit. So it just, I love having Hogwarts look at me from my bookshelf. It's pretty fun. And then a Chocolate Frog card, actually, that I didn't go to Universal, but a friend of mine did, and he gave me that, which is pretty cool. So that's nice to think of him as well whenever I see that. We have a couple collections, some horror collections that I got in Salem, Massachusetts. We went there to visit, and I just couldn't not buy a horror book up in Salem, right? So I got a collection of H.P. Lovecraft, and also the full collection of Edgar Allan Poe. And that's just awesome. I haven't read from either of those. I read some Poe before. I haven't read any Lovecraft, so I'd like to dig into both of those a lot more. I have the Udan trilogy by Philip Chase. Love having these on my shelf. I love the Udan trilogy. It's so good. And I have the Broken Binding special edition as well up top. One of the most gorgeous books that I own easily, and I can't wait, you guys, to see what they do for book 2. There are some crazy scenes that I really am excited to see illustrated. And then I have Wars, Light, and Shadow, right? The ones that I've read so far, Curse of the Mistwraith and Ships of Merrier, which also includes Warhost of Vastmark. Sun Eater time up here. We got the hardcovers, got them signed, got them personalized by Christopher Rocchio. And those are just so awesome. I haven't gotten the hardcovers yet of Kingdoms of Death or Ashes of Man, because I'm waiting to save on shipping costs. I will get books 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, so I get the free shipping rather than paying for shipping twice to get them in separate batches. But also, so that's just waiting on DAW to do their reissue of Disquiet Gods in hardcover, and then I'll get the 3 of those there. And then, of course, To Ride Hell's Chasm by Janie Wirtz as well. The first Janie Wirtz book that I ever read, and fell in love with her writing. Then up here we have the Broken Binding editions of Sun Eater, which are just fabulous, as I'm sure you can imagine, as well as the hardcovers of the full series of The Bound and the Broken by Ryan Cahill. Love this series. So these are dragons the way I like dragons, right? Just fearsome monsters of war. I love it. It's so good. And I'm loving this series. I can't wait to have Vampires and Dust up there if we ever get the hardcover. Now he's working on it. Ryan has been very transparent about that process online, and there's been a lot of stuff going on that has slowed that down. But it sounds like it won't be too long, so I'm really excited for that. And totally not a problem to wait. It's, obviously, I was joking before. It's totally fine. We then have my Wheel of Time books. I actually love these mass market paperbacks. I'm excited to reread this at some point. And I might just get those Dragonsteel special editions of these. We'll see, because that would be really cool. But I love the Wheel of Time, man. It's really cool to have all this, and I love that they all fit on one shelf. That's pretty nice. We then have Malazan, one of my absolute favorite series of all time. Also, here's the Broken Binding editions that, broken record, but hey, they're amazing, right? And so worth the money on those. And then again, I love these mass markets. They got a little beat up reading them, but what are you going to do? They're big books. The spines are going to crack a little bit. So we got the full series there, and then we have the first novella collection there that I've read that really had a good time, and then the Esselmont books, the novels of the Malazan Empire, where we have the first 5 books here, and then book 6 there all the way on the end, followed by The God Is Not Willing, the sequel series, beginning the book 1 of the sequel series, I should say, that I had an awesome time with, and I can't wait for book 2 to come out later this year. And we end with Red Rising that I have not yet gotten. I was going to replace these all with hardbacks. I had them initially as paperbacks, and then I found out they're doing special editions, and I'm like, all right, well, let me hold off, and I guess I'll just wait and do the special editions instead. So I have a mixed match set for now, but eventually they will be nice special editions because it's just too good of a series not to, I think. So, okay, that's everything I got. That's my bookshelf. All right, and there we have it. I hope that was cool. I hope you saw some cool books. I don't know. I have a lot of stuff that I'm really happy to have, and you can never have too much, though. Isn't that right? We always want more. At least I do. At least until we move, and then we hate how many physical books we have. But what are you going to do? So if you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe if you haven't. I love seeing the channel grow and meet more of you guys. And as I always say, the most important thing, talk to me in the comments, dude. That's the most fun part about this whole thing. I want to hear what your bookshelves look like. Do you like mine? Is there stuff that that you like, that you see? Is there stuff that you really want me to pick up and add to the bookshelves? Let me know. And like I said, I always want to add more to this big, cool space behind me. So as always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.